Va Kunj Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashoda Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Haribo, 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 Haribo. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवजगाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणार विंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की, इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य शिल प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Prabhupada Anuga ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nittai Guru Premanande. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Guranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Where is the bookmark? There's another portion of the Chaitanya Charitamrita that contains qualities of Radharani. Where is it? Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading a few verses from the Chaitanya Charitamrita on Srimati Radharani's greatness. We are celebrating Radhashtami Mahotsava, appearance of Radharani. As per schedule, on Saturday morning I'll speak from the Bhagavatam normally, since Chaitanya Charitamrita has been placed here. We shall take a shloka from here. Radharani Tattva. We can understand a little bit today and offer our prayers. In the afternoon I speak in Tamil language and maybe speak a few pastimes also. Reading from Adi Lila chapter 4 text 55. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shakti Rasmat Ekatmanav Api Bhuvipura Deha Bedham Gatautau Chaitanyakyam Prakatamadhuna Tadvayam Chaikyamaptam Radha Bhavadyuti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him, who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. Purport: this text is from the diary of Srila Swarupa Damodara Goswami. It appears as the fifth of the first 14 verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Radha Krishna Eka Atma Dvideha Dhari Anyonye Vilase Rasa Asa Asvadhana Kori. Radha and Krishna are one and the same, but they have assumed two bodies. Thus they enjoy each other, tasting the mellows of love. The two transcendentalists, Radha and Krishna, are a puzzle to materialists. The above description of Radha and Krishna from the diary of Srila Swarupa Damodara Goswami is a condensed explanation, but one needs great spiritual insight to understand the mystery of these two personalities. One is enjoying in two. Sri Krishna is the potent factor and Srimati Radharani is the internal potency. According to Vedanta philosophy, there is no difference between the potent and the potency. They are identical. We cannot differentiate between one and the other any more than we can separate fire from heat. Everything in the absolute is inconceivable in relative existence. Therefore, in relative cognizance, it is very difficult to assimilate this truth of the oneness between the potent and the potency. The philosophy of inconceivable oneness and difference propounded by Lord Chaitanya is the only source of understanding of such intricacies of transcendence. In fact, Radharani is the internal potency of Sri Krishna, and she eternally intensifies the pleasure of Sri Krishna. Impersonalists cannot understand this without the help of a Mahabhagavata devotee. The very name Radha suggests that Srimati Radharani is eternally the topmost mistress of the comforts of Sri Krishna. As such, she is the medium transmitting the living entity's service to Sri Krishna. Devotees in Vrindavana therefore seek the mercy of Srimati Radharani in order to be recognized as loving servitors of Sri Krishna. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally approaches the fallen conditioned souls of the Iron Age to deliver the highest principle of transcendental relationships with the Lord. The activities of Lord Chaitanya are primarily in the role of the pleasure-giving portion of his internal potency. The absolute personality of Godhead Sri Krishna is the omnipotent form of transcendental existence, knowledge and bliss in full. His internal potency is exhibited first as Sat or existence, or in other words, as the portion that expands the existence function of the Lord. When the same potency displays full knowledge, it is called Chit or Samvit, which expands the transcendental forms of the Lord. Finally, when the same potency plays as a pleasure-giving medium, it is known as Hladini, or the transcendental blissful potency. Thus, the Lord manifests his internal potency in three divisions. Om Tat Sat, Om Agyana Timirandhasya, Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunatana Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimati Radharani ki. For devotees of the Lord who are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radhashtami is not only important, it's also very significant. Very significant. Why? If you understand the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is considered to be the topmost, Unnata Ujjvala Rasa. Unnatam means topmost. Ujjvala Rasam, Madhurya Rasam. The enjoyment, taste, relationship of the topmost order that Krishna has. In other words, the topmost type of enjoyment Krishna enjoys. That understanding, that philosophy is what Lord Chaitanya taught. Unnata Ujjvala Rasa. And the main participant in that is Radharani, who gives that rasa, that enjoyment to Krishna exclusively. And that is why she is great. Prabhupada explained that very nicely, very simply in a lecture, by telling, Radharani is very great. And then he explained that we have understood how Krishna is great. He explains how he is great in Bhagavad Gita. Which chapter he explains how his greatness? In the 10th chapter he explains Vibhuti Yogam. And that also he explains in terms of matter and material world. And then Krishna tells Atava bahunetena kim gyatena tavarjuna vrishtabhyaham idam krishnam ekamshena stito jagat. How I am so great and my greatness cannot be understood so easily by anybody. Mam tu vedana kaschana. Nobody knows me. First you should know. Then you should know that person's greatness. Then you can start liking him. First knowledge, K-N-O-W, knowledge, knowing who is this person called Krishna. That he reveals in Bhagavad Gita. If you can catch it. Many people don't, most people don't. Because a pure devotee's explanation is the only way to get to know. So, first thing is to know, then to know how he is great. Prabhupada explained that simply saying God is great is not enough. You must know how he is great. That detail Krishna explains in the 10th chapter, and he says, little only explain to you because you cannot understand so easily my greatness. So Krishna is so great you can't even understand his greatness. And that's why he leaves a drop by telling, Brahma's lifetime is like this. One drop he leaves in Bhagavad Gita. How great is Brahma? We sit and calculate. Calculator will show error. The figures, numbers will not come in that. How great is Brahma we understand. And then we understand that Brahma's lifetime is one breath of Vishnu. Yasyaikanis svashita kalam, swasha kalam of Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu is expansion of Sankarshana, and then Chaturvyuha, and another Chaturvyuha, and then Balarama, and then Krishna. Very far away from Krishna. That Mahavishnu's one breath is lifetime of Brahma. 311 trillion 40 billion years is one lifetime of Brahma in human life calculation. And that is one breath of Mahavishnu. So you can understand how big is Mahavishnu. Sometimes it's so difficult to even think how it is great. We just immediately dismiss it. It's too much for me. I cannot understand. And then beyond that is Krishna. So far away. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. That Krishna, who is so great and the whole world is after Krishna, all living entities are being told to somehow worship Krishna, love Krishna. That great Krishna, whose greatness is impossible for anybody to understand, that person is behind Radharani. So Prabhupada said, you can understand how great is Radharani. So the greatest of the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, can be controlled by Radharani. Why? Because of her love. Then Prabhupada said, then you can understand how great is Radharani. Very simply explained. So, who is Krishna has to be understood. Then only we can understand who is Radharani. First, how great is Krishna? And then we can understand, only we'll understand it in greatness mode. Otherwise we'll think it very cheap. Actually, we can't even speak about Radharani. We have no right to speak. At least me, I am thinking 10 times, what shall I speak? How can I speak? And I thought we'll speak the Tattva at least. You must understand that Shukadeva Goswami did not speak about Radharani in the whole Bhagavatam. But everything points to Radharani in the Bhagavatam. That is mentioned by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All these very great, wonderful devotees who know the truth, they speak about the loving affairs of the gopis and Krishna, Radharani and Krishna. And in normal life, you will think very bad. Why you are speaking about all the loving affairs of some other people. Not proper. You are not morally, ethically correct. But a sannyasi like Lord Chaitanya is constantly thinking about those affairs. So Prabhupada explained, even a sannyasi, the Supreme Lord as sannyasi, is constantly thinking of the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. Why? It's not ordinary. It's not ordinary loving affair. It's transcendental. It's a very high class Unnatta Ujjvala Rasa. This we must understand first before we can, jump into Radharani and everything. Whom are we dealing with? A very confidential matter. A very confidential personality. Right? So, one thing is to understand Krishna and his greatness from outside. So, Krishna showed the Vishwarupa to understand greatness. But devotees know Vishwarupa and all not great. Radharani and your love for Radharani is great. It's the other way around with devotees who know the absolute truth Krishna and his activities of loving affairs with Radharani. They know greatness lies there. That is greatness. Vishwarupa greatness is for materialistic people only. That is why the Vishwarupa does not exist in the spiritual world. That's why it is impossible to actually understand, but today is Radharani's appearance day, so we are speaking a few words. Prabhupada says it is not possible for you to worship Radha Krishna. He said you have to worship only in Vidhi Marga. Those who are in Raga Marga only can worship Radha and Krishna. So today is Radharani's appearance day. Although we are sadhakas, we are trying to glorify Radharani and request from her some mercy so that we can understand Krishna properly. We must understand we are sadhakas. We cannot actually jump inside and think that we can do all that. Sometimes devotees immediately start reading Radha, Shtakam, this, that, without knowing that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. Bhagavad Gita la ade innu puriyala. But Radharani would deep, all these pastimes and all they want to get inside. You will never be able to get inside. You will only get misunderstanding. So Prabhupada told us, you have no right to worship Radha. You don't have the adhikar. You can only worship Lakshmi Narayana. For sadhakas, you can only worship Lakshmi Narayana. And as your bhakti grows, you may become qualified to gradually worship Radha Krishna. Because it's very high class. So in most of our temples, when we worship Radha Krishna, we are actually worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. This we must understand. We are incapable of worshipping because we are in the Vidhi Marga, following instructions and doing sadhana. We can't even chant our 16 rounds properly without disturbance. Right? So we must first understand what are we doing, why are we doing. So our glorification of Radharani itself is a sadhana. It's a sadhana. Prabhupada told, you read Rasa Leela chapter, this way you will become free from lust. And then you may be able to understand pastimes of the Lord. So whom are we approaching? We are approaching the Hladini potency of the Supreme Lord. Maybe you have to shut the windows. Vastu is less important now, I think. Vastu is interfering with the Bhagavatam session. This is the meaning of Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. So, we should understand very carefully. We cannot assume certain things. We may celebrate Radhashtami, we may do many things. We cannot assume intimacy, relationship knowledge, everything with Radharani immediately. We are too far away. All we can do is hear the great Acharya speaking and hope to be Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayor Dasa Dasanu Dasa. This is the first attitude we must develop before we open up and read any of these things. Number one, who is Radharani? Radharani, Prabhupada explained here, the potent and the potency, the energetic and the energy. Shakti, Shaktiman. Shakti is Radharani. Shaktiman is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So, Hladini potency. The Lord's pleasure-giving potency. He has got Parashaya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. The Lord has got so many energies, different types. And out of that, one of the principal energy is pleasure-giving potency. Hladini. We have heard about Prahlada. He gave pleasure to the Lord. Hladini means pleasure. So there is pleasure-giving energy of the Lord. God means He doesn't have to work very hard like us. It's very difficult for us to understand energy of the Lord. Actually, we also belong to the energy of the Lord. We are also energy. We are not in the category of like Krishna. We are in the category of Shakti, energy of the Lord. You are Tatashta Shakti. Right? Only Krishna is the supreme absolute truth and reality. Rest are all coming from Him. So similarly, the Lord has got energies. Samvit, Sandhini, Hladini, like that. Potencies. Hladini potency is in charge of giving pleasure to the Lord. He's got a whole department for pleasure. Energy. And Radharani is the chief Hladini potency personality. You understand? Pleasure-giving personality for the supreme absolute truth, Krishna. Actually, Radharani and Krishna are only one. That's why Prabhupada is saying, one becoming two. One becoming two. And Krishna, from him separating his Hladini potency, Radharani, and he's enjoying. Prabhupada explains that you can never enjoy alone. Even the Supreme Absolute Truth, Eko Bahusyam, becoming many in order to enjoy. Single alone you can never enjoy. So even the Supreme Absolute Truth is expanding. His first pleasure expansion is Radharani, for the sake of enjoying. Right? We are also not able to enjoy on our own. Prabhupada explained this and said that if I am sitting here and lecturing alone, I will not feel any pleasure. Because there are so many devotees hearing and asking questions and digesting it, I am feeling pleasure that I am conveying this message. Right? If there are not many people, you cannot actually feel satisfaction, pleasure or anything. In other words, human being is a social person. Not only human being, Supreme Lord Himself is expanding. But at least we can scale it down and understand. We cannot enjoy unless there is another. Right? So of course nowadays things are changing. Not because the truth is changing. Shishi Jagannath Baladev Subhadramayi ki. Not because the truth is changing. It is because people are having their own understanding. So when we understand, Krishna is expanded in order for him to enjoy. He expands into Swa-amsha expansions, Vibhina-amsha expansions. Swa-amsha are himself expanding into Narayana and Vishnu's and all of them, and it is he only. Vibhinna Amsha means separated expansion. All the jivas, all the living entities, conditioned souls that we are all the Vibhinna Amsha, separated expansions. But all are supposed to give pleasure to the Lord. Even we. We are persons who have decided not to give pleasure to the Lord, but to enjoy on my own. This is our category now. We are decided on our own. I may be Vibhinamsha, I am supposed to give you pleasure. I am not interested. I want to have pleasure for myself. This is what is conditioned soul. This is what is material life. So when you are busy making plan for your own enjoyment, how you are going to understand Krishna's enjoyment? And that too, Radharani. This is the challenge. Unless a person becomes a devotee, becomes a little humble, service mood oriented, then only he can get a little understanding. That huge ocean is filled with service attitude. And in that service attitude, it goes to the top, Vipralamba Bhava. Radharani is always thinking of Krishna in separation. That is the highest form of enjoyment. And what Radharani is enjoying, Krishna himself wants to enjoy, so he appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In fact, Prabhupada is stating that Krishna itself cannot understand Radharani. Because he does not know what she is enjoying. Because I am the object of Radharani's enjoyment, so I am not able to enjoy that, so I don't know what she is enjoying. Therefore, Prabhupada is explaining Krishna cannot understand Radharani. In a lecture, he is saying this. I was very sorry, what am I going to do? Krishna is striving to understand Radharani. So now you understand what's the meaning of simply saying Radhe ki jai, Maharani ki jai. Avladhan nammalaal panna mudiyum. And then eat the prasadam. Jump and dance and then very difficult for us to understand. But at least something we may be doing. So Krishna is tolerating. It's okay, jumping and dancing. He's chanting Krishna's name, my name, and so definitely he will bless you. Because you're following the instruction. This is sadhaka. I'm repeating that. Sadhaka means sadhaka only. Don't expect that you can understand many things so easily. Especially Krishna's loving affairs with Radharani. Very super high class it is. Somehow today we are delving into that a little bit. We must not think it is ordinary, sahajiya. Prabhupada explained sahajiyas are people who are bringing down Radharani and Krishna's affairs and enacting it and making it very ordinary. But they have no understanding. They have no understanding. Only through devotion and progress through devotion, it's a big ocean. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In that big ocean, so many devotees are swimming and enjoying so many rasas. But we have not entered that ocean. We are busy trying to enjoy ourselves. Okay, you are diametrically opposite people. So here is the creation for you. Krishna does creation. Try, enjoy. Go and try. We are a horrible class of people actually. People who don't want to give enjoyment to the Lord. And for that reason only we are Vibhinamshas of the Lord. Mamaivamsha jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana. And being the Amsha of the Lord, we have decided, no, your intention is not important for me. I want to enjoy on my own. How disappointing. Okay, try. And Krishna has made this world for us, and inside we are very busy morning to night doing this. Morning to night our plan is how to enjoy this, how to enjoy that. That's the nature of the conditioned soul in the material world. Constantly we are programmed to do like that, and we do that. Adhukku nadula, how to understand that, how I am a servant of the Lord, how I must give pleasure to the Lord by my service. This is the challenge. And therefore, Radharani is too far away to understand. Okay? This is understanding greatness of Radharani, exclusivity. Radharani means only Krishna, that's all. Meant for nobody else. Exclusive for Krishna. You cannot try to derive pleasure from Radharani. You can only derive pleasure by serving Radharani. And not directly. Gopi bhartu padakamalayora dasa dasanudasa. Down the line, Radharani surrounded by manjaris, gopis, who are serving her all the time with great focus, completely 100% selfless. Totally selfless, serving. In that, to those people who are serving and their servants and down the line, if you get a chance to serve sincerely, then your life is successful. Then your life is successful. Right? So in this way, Radharani and her position should be understood. Tattva, she is Hladini potency of the Lord. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will read a lot about Radharani and her position. So I am reading a few verses from that, so that we are knowledgeably worshipping Radharani today. Okay. Premera Swarupa Deha Prema Vibhavita Krishnera Prayasi Sreshta Jagate Vidita. The body of Srimati Radharani is a veritable transformation of love of Godhead. She is the dearmost friend of Krishna, and this is known throughout the world. Body of Radharani is a transformation of prema. That's why she is called Krishna Mayi, made of Krishna prema. She is made of, her body is not ordinary matter like we have, stinky. You have to take bath every day, wash it, and it gives you a lot of trouble. You have to go to the hospital, repair it, and then try to enjoy with that. Then one fine day it will fall dead. And then you have to bury it, it stinks, burn it. This is material body. And demigods have got subtle body, not gross, very subtle, sukshma. And that they can enjoy more in that. In the demigods' bodies, if you hear some of them, you will become very fascinated. There's description of the demigods' bodies and their life. Ramba, Kilotama, Menaka, all the Apsaras in the, Devaloka, their bodies are also described. It's got scent, smells, permanent, they don't sweat. Dirty smell doesn't come. And there's description of, it is also material, but Sukshma Sharira, very subtler bodies, and very highly pleasurable for those who want to have enjoyment materially. But beyond that also is description of a devotee's body. It's completely spiritual. A devotee's body is fully not material. Prabhupada said is fully spiritual. Why? He uses his body in the service of Krishna only. And if he uses his body, mind, intelligence in the service of Krishna, it becomes Krishnaized. It becomes spiritual. But here you are reading Radharani's body is made of prema. Not just spiritual. Made of prema. Prema Mayi Radha. Krishna Prema Mayi Radha. See, that's why we cannot understand. The enjoyment on the level of prema in this thing is very different. It's very difficult to understand. But some theory we can understand. Now you can understand what Radharani is made of. She is made of the love of Krishna. Is made of the love of Krishna. Sometimes the topic is so exotic, after some time we can't understand. I can understand 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Simple mathematics I can understand. But when it becomes complicated, I cannot understand after some time. So actually only if you have devotion to Krishna can you enter this domain of understanding. When you explain too much, we go to sleep after some time. Radharani haladini potency. As far as I am concerned, when is the prasadam coming? This is our life. When is kirtan? When is the prasadam? That's all. We cannot go beyond. This is sadhaka. This is sadhaka. But sometime we must make an effort to understand how deep is Krishna consciousness. The philosophy of love. Bhakti philosophy எவ்வளோ ஆழமா இருக்குன்னு அதான் பக்தி ரசாமிரித சிந்து ocean. In that so many fishes are swimming and enjoying relationship with Krishna. Bhakti. அதில் சின்ன மீன் பெரிய மீன் இருக்கு variety. In that there is திமிங்கலம். Huge Timingala fish. Whales and Timingala. Those are big time players. They are all this Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami are big Timingala fish inside the ocean of bhakti, prema. In that is where these things are being related. So when we say prema mayi, Krishna mayi, we should understand what means. आनंद चिन्मय रस प्रतिभा विथाबे स्थाबीर एव निज रूपतया कलाभी गोलोक एव निवसति अखिलात्म भूतो गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमहं भजामि. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord who resides in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure and who embodies the ecstatic potency Hladini. Their companions are her confidants, who embody extensions of her bodily form and who are imbued and permeated with ever blissful spiritual rasa. Say Mahabhava hoya chintamani sara Krishna vancha purna kare ye karya tanra. That supreme ecstasy of Srimati Radharani is the essence of spiritual life. Her only business is to fulfill all the desires of Krishna. Mahabhava Chintamani Radha Raswarupa Lalitadi Sakhi Tandra Kaya Vyuha Rupa. Srimati Radharani is the topmost spiritual gem, and the other gopis, Lalita, Vishakha and so on, are expansions of her spiritual body. Radha Prati Krishna Sneha Sugandhi Udvartana Tate Ati Sugandhi Deha Ujvala Varana. Srimati Radharani's transcendental body is brilliant in luster and full of all transcendental fragrances. Lord Krishna's affection for her is like a perfumed massage. Sugandhi Udvartana refers to a paste made of several perfumes and fragrant oils. The paste is massaged all over the body, and in this way the body's dirt and perspiration are removed. Srimati Radharani's body is automatically perfumed. But when her body is massaged with the scented paste of Lord Krishna's affection, her entire body is doubly perfumed and made brilliant and lustrous. This is the beginning of Krishnadasa Kaviraj Goswami's description of Srimati Radharani's transcendental body. This description, found in verses 165 to 181, is based on a book by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami known as Premam Bhoja Maranda. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's translation of the original Sanskrit reads as follows. The love of the gopis for Krishna is full of transcendental ecstasy. It appears to be a jubilant jewel, brilliant jewel, and enlightened by such a transcendental jewel, Radharani's body is further perfumed and decorated with kunkuma. In the morning, her body is bathed in the nectar of compassion. In the afternoon, in the nectar of youth, and in the evening in the nectar of luster itself. In this way the bathing is performed and her body becomes as brilliant as the Chintamani jewel. She is dressed in various kinds of silken garments, one of which is her natural shyness. Can you understand that? To go and be dressed in natural shyness. One of your garment is. This is how Radharani is made. So how can we understand? It's completely on the level of prema. All descriptions are like that. So very exotic understanding. Not so easy to understand. But it doesn't matter. We try to understand. We try to hear. And we try to get some feeling towards Radharani. That's what we're trying to do. Her beauty is more and more enhanced, being decorated with the red kunkuma of beauty itself and the blackish musk of conjugal love. Thus, her body is decorated with different colors. Her ornaments embody the natural symptoms of ecstasy, trembling, tears, jubilation, stunning, perspiration, faltering of the voice, bodily redness, madness, and dullness. In this way, her entire body is bedecked with these 9 different jewels. Over and above this, the beauty of her body is enhanced by her transcendental qualities, which constitute the flower garland hanging on her body. The ecstasy of love for Krishna is known as dhira and adhira, sober and restless. Such ecstasy continues the covering of Srimati Radharani's body, and it is adorned by camphor. Her transcendental anger towards Krishna is embodied as the arrangement of the hair on her head, and the tilaka of her great fortune shines on her beautiful forehead. Srimati Radharani's earrings are the holy names of Krishna. How's that? Srimati Radharani's earrings are the holy names of Krishna, as well as the hearing of his name and fame. Her lips are always reddish due to the betel nut of ecstatic affection for Krishna. The black ointment around her eyes is her tricky behavior with Krishna, brought about by love. Her joking with Krishna and gentle smiling constitute the camphor with which she is perfumed. She sleeps in her room with the aroma of pride. And when she lies down in her bed, the transcendental variety of her loving ecstasies is like a jeweled locket in the midst of a necklace of separation. Her transcendental breasts are covered by her sari in the form of affection and anger towards Krishna. She has a stringed instrument known as a kachapi veena, which is the fame and fortune and actually dries up the faces and breasts of the other gopis. She always keeps her hands on the shoulder of her gopi friend, who represents her youthful beauty. And although she is highly qualified with so many spiritual assets, she is nonetheless affected by the Cupid known as Krishna. Thus she is defeated. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami offers his respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani, taking a straw in his mouth. Indeed, he prays, O Gandharvika, Srimati Radharani, just as Lord Krishna never rejects a surrendered soul, please don't reject me. This is a summary translation of the Premam Bhoja Maranda, which Kaviraj Goswami quotes. So all these great devotees are in intimate touch with Radharani. Raghunath Das Goswami. So much he was intimately meditating on Radharani and her love for Krishna and the separation that she was undergoing. And when he was writing all this, it was hot sun, the bank of the Radha Kund there. And he was sweating, but he was very absorbed. Radharani came there. My dear Raghunath Das Goswami, who has understood me so well and my love for Krishna so well, I need to look after you. She put her sari palau and held above him so that the sun will not hit Raghunath Das Goswami. She was sweating. Seeing this, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they all, what are you doing? You may be doing seva for Radharani and Krishna, but your seva is so deep that they are coming and serving you. Radharani is serving Raghunath Das Goswami. You can imagine his meditation on Radharani. Right? So they told you build a kutir here and said don't trouble Radharani. You must build here a kutir, shelter yourself, and then you do whatever seva you want to do. In this way he built. Such is the service of these great personalities that Radharani reveals herself. In the afternoon we'll talk about some of these pastimes. So first we must understand who is Radharani, how exalted and great is Radharani. Then when we hear the pastimes, we'll appreciate much better. So it's mentioned here, she gets affected. She is defeated by the beauty of Krishna. That's why Krishna is called Madana Mohan. Very beautiful. That even the Cupid means Kamadeva. Cupid Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Sobham Govindamadi Purusham. All the Kandarpa means Kamadeva. All of them, what they normally do amongst conditioned soul is to make them get this feeling of love, mundane love, lust, and everything in them. So it's mentioned that so many Kamadeva and so many others assistants came to do this to Madan Mohan. And seeing Madan Mohan's beauty, they themselves became completely enamored and they dropped everything. Who is this? They become, so Krishna is called Madana Mohan. He has, Mohana means bewildered even Madan. Kamadeva has become bewildered. But that person is bewildering who? Radharani. So she is called Madana Mohana Mohini. And then the opposite is also true. That Madana Mohan, when he sees Krishna, when he sees Radharani, he becomes also disturbed because of her beauty. Anandam Buddhivardhanam. When Krishna looks at Radharani, how beautiful he is, he becomes beautiful. And then she becomes so beautiful. And then when she thinks like this about Krishna, she becomes more beautiful. And then she becomes more beautiful. Krishna says, what's happening to you? You look more and more and more beautiful. So it's all dynamic beauty. It happens automatically. It's a spiritual world. Krishna doesn't have to, Radharani pe makeup potitva. Not required at all. It's not required. Botikala incorporated. Automatically every second it will change. Radharani's beauty changes every second. The perfumes change, the aroma changes, the looks change, everything very subtly. Changes instantly. What boti kuti? Now you understand how mundane we are. And the botik apply panni, oru naaliki it become wrinkles, then they will do operation and skin surgery and make it tight, and then whatever you may do, finally you will die. However young you may look, finally you will die. By all the repair work that you do, you will die. But this is real beauty, natural. Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purna Mritaswadanam. That is happening. What is that? Reciprocal beauty. And each one is increasing each one's beauty. This is how Radharani and Krishna enjoy. It's very high class. It's what? 5-star, 10-star, 1,000-star, million-star enjoyment. It's not ordinary. That type of enjoyment she gives to Krishna. Unlimited. No limit. It's mentioned, there is no limit for the enjoyment. Oh, it has become night, now I have to go back. Oh, I cannot eat, my stomach is too full now. Oh, yeah, I have eaten, like that. There is no surfeit. In English they use the word surfeited, means saturated. I cannot go beyond this. That is not there. In the enjoyment of Krishna and Radharani, that is not there. It can go on and expand and expand and expand and expand unlimitedly. Can you imagine how it will be? Nobody is limiting it because it's a Krishna. I want to enjoy. No limit. So Radharani's beauty becomes, just goes and goes and goes on and on. No limit to her beauty, becoming more and more beautiful. Then how it will be? So this type of enjoyment she gives to Krishna. This type of enjoyment she gives to Krishna. That's why she's called Madana Mohana Mohini. She can create moha in Madana Mohan. She can create moha in Madana Mohan. He can become bewildered. It is mentioned there are a lot of this thing. Krishna dropped his flute. Watching Radharani's beauty, he dropped his flute and the gopis stole his flute and said, "Oh, I'll teach you a lesson." Like that, there were pastimes of him becoming stunned by the beauty of Radharani. And Radharani becoming beauty stunned. So therefore, we cannot discuss these things unless we know it is completely different category. First, we must understand it's different category, then only we should discuss. Otherwise, we'll go around telling our wives, "Nee Radharani mari dress pannikka vendiyadane." I've heard. You mundanize the whole thing. You become very different. They are sahajiyas. You know, you go, some people, they dress as gopis and all that and dance. They have dance. They have actually Rasalila dance. These are very bad. So we must understand how exclusive is Radharani, how great she is, how she is Krishna's potency, and how she is exclusively giving Krishna enjoyment. Not meant for anybody else. Not meant for anybody else. But Radharani is very merciful and very kind. Prabhupada mentioned here in the purport, she is in charge of conveying the entire services of all the servants of Krishna to Krishna. She is the chief servant. So Prabhupada said in a lecture, that is why we worship Radharani. Because if Radharani recommends, he said, even if you are number one fool, idiot, if Radharani recommends, Krishna will say, immediately give you 100% mercy. Because recommended by Radharani. So Prabhupada said, that is why we worship Radharani. Our only connection is to serve Krishna, achieve love of Krishna through the mercy of Radharani. So today we pray Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamamayi Hari Priye. That is why Vrindavan is a place of Radharani. Although it's a place of Krishna's pastimes, she is more superior to Krishna. She is called the Queen, Vrindavaneshwari. And there is a whole competition where she is worshipped as Queen of Vrindavana by the gopis. And Krishna says, you are greater than me in Vrindavan. Krishna submits to her and Radharani will say, what type of seva to give him? She asks the department head to give him seva. There is all sorts of pastimes. He assumes that role. You are the queen. That's why in Vrindavana, everybody will say Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe. You will go there, you will see. Radharani is the queen. If you worship Radharani, you will get Krishna. You can't go there and not worship Radharani. So our procedure is to go through Radharani to Krishna. Prabhupada explained this. To go through the servants of the Lord to Krishna. Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayo Radasa Dasa Anudasa. Ultimately, the greatest of all servants is Radharani. So if you go through the servants, she can be approached. She can be approached. So this Radharani Tattva is very deep and something that we should understand carefully. Right? So in this way, Madana Mohana Mohini, and she is very kind and merciful to devotees who approach her sincerely and pray to her. There is a story of Radharani showing mercy to a jackal. Tamil enna solluvaanga jackal? Kulanri. Showing mercy to a jackal. In Vrindavan, there is a place close to Radhakund where all these boys were playing, Vrindavana boys. They were playing. Suddenly they saw a jackal come to drink water in the pond. Jackal drank a little water. These people chased the jackal. Hey, shoo, chase the jackal away. The jackal ran and went inside a hole on the bank of inside a hole to hide away from these boys that using sticks and all and chasing. So as soon as the jackal went inside, they, in the mischievous mood, they said, "Oh, you went inside the hole, huh? Poke in the hole." They could not reach, went inside. So they took all the dry leaves and all, put inside the hole and set fire to it. They set fire to the hole, start burning. So the jackal inside had no way to go out, came out of the hole, caught fire, full of fire, screaming. From the other side, a gopi saw this and went and told Radharani, "See, this is happening in your place." So Radharani said, "Quickly bring." They put off the fire, brought the jackal, who came crying and fell at the feet of Radharani. So Radharani is mentioned, stroked the jackal with her hands. "Don't worry, everything will become all right. I'm sorry this has happened to you." This pastime is mentioned there in Vrindavan. That she was so kind to the jackal. Jackal, of course, would have got a very big position being touched by Radharani in an amazing this thing. But the characteristic of being compassionate, merciful to other living entities is a highlight, is a key point in the character of Radharani. That if devotees approach her in seva, in humble mode, then she shows great mercy, especially if you want to serve Krishna. In my service to Krishna, I am not able to manifest the service mood. I am not able to develop love for Krishna. I have these obstacles and we want to do this seva for Krishna. If you approach, then she is very kind. So we all as a community of devotees are trying to offer to Radharani and Krishna a nice temple where we can worship them. If we pray to Radharani today that we want this to become a reality, we want quickly to see Radharani there on the altar with Krishna, and we want to give them the highest, topmost worship. Like so beautifully, it's been decorated for Radharani's pleasure with garlands, with all sorts of decorations and alankars and everything, and we want to please Radharani. So she takes note of these things. If the same thing in a big temple, in the big hall we decorate and we see Radharani and Krishna beautifully decorated, costumed very well, it will be very pleasing to devotees. Prabhupada told, always make Radharani more beautiful than Krishna. Krishna will be very pleased. He told in Bombay, when you dress, you make Radharani more beautiful, Krishna will become very pleased with you. So they will always dress Radharani with a very special, if you look closely, you'll see a very special smile. Happy smile. Very pleased with the service of the devotees. And then the devotees become very happy. Radharani is very satisfied. Krishna is even more satisfied because Radharani is very happy and satisfied. In this way, the mood of service in the devotees, that should be understood, that pulse of that. Everything is based on seva, attitude of service. Prabhupada explained. Not just seva, what attitude you have when you do that seva. When you do that seva, what attitude you have. Right? According to that, your bhakti will develop and your swarupa also will develop. So if you see Radharani and her attitude of service, the gopis and everybody, very high class. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita it is mentioned that Radharani Abhiman, she become angry. But all these anger and all these things of hers are all transcendental and give pleasure to Krishna. To see Radharani angry and her beauty when she is angry is something Krishna likes to see. So she becomes angry according to the situation, because she sees Krishna is dancing with, Viraja, going with Chandravati, and going, this becomes very angry. And then because of that anger, she manifests a certain type of frame, and that gives pleasure to Krishna. So Radharani, when she knows that Krishna is happy, I may be disappointed because I am not able to have Krishna with me. Constantly in separation of Krishna, she enjoys the greatest meditation on Krishna and the greatest absorption in Krishna. Separation, viraha bhava, that is what is the mood, which is the highest mood. That is the mood of Radharani. That same mood Lord Chaitanya came to enjoy. Krishna himself came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to enjoy in separation. So Prabhupada explained that we are not going around and trying to see in which bush Krishna is in the Vrindavana. To say that I saw Krishna in this bush. In this kunja, I saw Krishna. So he said the Goswamis are not going around searching for Krishna in the bushes. They are out of separation. He Radhe, he Vrajadevi ke sevike, he Nandasuna kuta. They are in separation shouting out, where are you? Feeling separation. That is the mood. So devotees don't try to see Krishna. They try to serve Krishna in separation from Krishna. That separation mood is what is the mood of all Lord Chaitanya's followers. And Radharani is that mood, topmost mood of separation from Krishna. In separation from Krishna, she enjoys the highest rasa. That is mentioned and explained in great detail in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So all the leelas of Lord Chaitanya you will see in separation. He was enjoying in the Gambhira for 18 years. He was Krishna, 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 because he was in the mood of Radharani, separation from Krishna. They will lock the door, everything, and keep him inside the Gambhira, but he will come out. Every door is all locked, but he is out. Inside he cannot remain. He rubs his nose against the wall and bleeds, remembering Krishna. And his whole body, his joints are separated in ecstasy of remembering and serving Krishna. In this way, in Radharani's mood, in bhava of Radharani, Lord Chaitanya exhibited, this is what Radharani is enjoying. And he enjoyed that mood. Separation, viraha bhava. That is very high level of enjoyment. Because very intensely meditating on Krishna when you are separated. So in this way, Radharani is in the mood of separation and serving Krishna. So some of these things we won't even understand. In English it said, absence makes the heart grow fonder. If somebody is absent, you say, where is he? I feel like seeing him, being in his company. The wife feels like that, the husband feels like that. And I want to be with my children, I want to be with my... When you are separated, you feel more feelings. That is a simple, crude example we can understand. But using that, extending it, Radharani is constantly in separation. Krishna left Vrindavan. After that, it was full separation only. In separation, served Krishna. So, we are also trying to adopt that mood of remembering Krishna, thinking about Krishna, and feeling separation from Krishna. That consciousness comes, that means you're in a high level of devotional service. Feeling the separation of Krishna from you. Krishna, where are you? He Radhe, he Vrajadevi kasevike, he Nandasuna kuta. So the Goswamis were all always hankering in separation. In that mood serving Krishna. So this is the mood of Radharani. In this way, who is Radharani? what is Radha Tattva and how she serves Krishna, how she is very merciful to all devotees who are striving for pure devotional service, and how by the mercy of Radharani we can actually move ahead. These are some of the things I wanted to just explain. In the afternoon we can think about discussing some pastimes of the Lord. So now we will finish here, and we will, as an ending, we will sing this meditative prayer, Sri Radhika Stava from Stavamala of Rupa Goswami, and we will finish for today. At 10:30, I think Abhishekam starts. It's 1 hour from now. If you got this song exhibited there. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamamayi Hari Priye Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Harinish Kuta Brinda Vipineshe Damodara Rati Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Harinish Kuta Brinda Vipineshe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Vrishabhanudhadi Navasakshi Lekhe Lalita Sakhi Guna Ramita Vishakhe Vrishabhanudhadi Vrishabhanudhadi Navasashilekhe Lalita Sakhi Guna Ramita Vishakhe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dahite Gokula Karunam Kurumahi Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Karanam Kurumai Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite राधे जय जय माधव दैथे गोकुल तरुणी मंडल बहिथे राधे राधे जय जय माधव दैथे गोकुल तरुणी मंडल महिते Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhav Daithe Gokul Taruni Mandala Mahithe Radhe Jaya Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय राधा रमन निताय गौरंगा निताय गौरंगा निताय गौरंग बोलो निताय गौरंगा निताय 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 गौरंगा जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरे पतित पावन गौर हरे नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपा 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 गौर प्रेमानंदे श्रीमती राधारानी की राधाष्टमी महोत्सवम की नित्य गौर प्रेमानंदे।